Sure, here's the beginning of your story. This will be written in long, emotional paragraphs with cinematic detail, starting with a dramatic hook, followed by the viewer engagement request as you instructed. I'll continue the story in parts due to the length, approximately 6,000 words, and you can ask me to keep going when you're ready. He walked into a fancy restaurant with his new wife, expecting a peaceful evening. But what he didn't expect was his past, sitting 3 tables away, holding a glass of red wine and 20 years of silent heartbreak. The light above their table shimmered like a spotlight on a forgotten chapter of his life, one he had locked away in the attic of memory, dusted with regret and sealed with guilt. As he held his wife's hand, warm and trusting in his palm, his eyes met the woman he had once promised forever to, and abandoned without a goodbye. In that moment, the elegant room, the soft piano notes drifting through the air, the quiet clinking of silverware and laughter of well-dressed guests, it all blurred into a numb, distant hum. His heart tightened like a clenched fist. And for a fleeting second, it stopped. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the unexpected beauty of human stories, don't forget to like this video, comment below your thoughts, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to Royal Stories for more powerful content like this. Your support helps us bring real, heartfelt tales to life. He looked away quickly, hoping his wife hadn't noticed the storm crashing inside his chest. But it was too late. Her eyes, gentle and alert, followed the direction of his gaze, and the slight twitch in her brow told him she had seen her too, the woman in the emerald dress, alone at a table set for 2. The woman whose every breath had once been synchronized with his. She looked older, of course. Time had kissed her face with fine lines and a certain quietness that comes only from long battles fought in silence. But those eyes, those deep, ocean-colored eyes, still held the same ache, the same softness. It was her, Alina. For a while, they tried to carry on with dinner. They talked about the wine, about work, about travel plans, all while pretending the past wasn't sitting just a few steps away, sipping Cabernet and twisting the gold band around her finger, the same one he had placed there years ago in a trembling ceremony under a sycamore tree, vowing to love her until his last breath. But love, as it turned out, wasn't enough. Not back then. He had been a different man in those days, young, ambitious, burning with dreams that lit his soul on fire but blinded him to the fragile heart holding onto him. They were college sweethearts, madly in love, reckless with hope, and entirely unprepared for life's cruel twists. He had been offered a job overseas, a golden opportunity that promised everything he thought he needed: success, freedom, a name. And she had begged him to stay. Not because she wanted to clip his wings, but because she knew how lonely the flight would be. He had left anyway, chasing stars that glittered cold and far. He had told himself he'd come back for her. He never did. Years went by, letters stopped, calls faded. Eventually, they both became ghosts in each other's memories, wandering through separate lives. He married again, this time to a kind woman named Layla, who brought steadiness where once there had been fire. She knew about Alina, in the way a woman knows there's a wound in her husband that her love can't quite heal. But she never asked too much. She just loved him as he was, scarred, incomplete, trying. Now here they were, a chance dinner in a city they didn't even live in, seated under the same roof, breathing the same scented air, while the past reached out. With trembling fingers, Alina stood up to leave. Her table remained untouched, and he noticed the second wine glass had never been filled. Maybe she had come here expecting someone else. Or maybe she knew. Maybe she had seen his name in the reservation list, or heard from someone, or just felt it in her bones the way 2 once connected souls do. She passed by their table on her way out. Her eyes paused on him, for no more than a second. No smile, no tears, just a quiet, understanding nod. And then she was gone. Layla reached for his hand, and when he looked at her, she didn't need to ask. She just whispered, "Do you want to go after her?" He couldn't answer, not because he didn't want to, but because everything in him already had. His heart had leapt from his chest and followed Alina into the night. But his body stayed, loyal to the woman who had loved him through the ruins. That night, he didn't sleep. He lay awake, staring at the ceiling of the hotel room, haunted by the things he never said. The apology, the explanation, the truth. He had been a coward. Not because he left, but because he never came back. He had thought of her countless times, on flights, in foreign cities, during moments of silence when the world went still and her name whispered in his ear like a forgotten song. But time is a thief. And so is fear. The next morning, he left Layla sleeping and took a walk through the city. He didn't know where he was going, only that he needed to move, to feel something real beneath his feet. The air smelled like rain and coffee and new beginnings. That's when he saw her again, across the street, standing in front of a bookstore they used to visit when they were young and poor and in love. He crossed without thinking. She turned, as if expecting him. And for the first time in over 2 decades, they spoke. Let me know if you'd like me to continue the next part of the story. The full version will build up to a powerful, emotional ending, staying within the tone and pacing needed for a 6,000-word YouTube video. Would you like me to continue?